cool down. Relieving stress from the weekend. It's always stress for me.
Not just us, because we're able to talk about it, but we have our fans at home who can hear our opinions.
Cool down.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cool.
Cool down.
Cool down.
That's what I'm
Here
talking
we
about,
are.
gents. That's what
Cool
I'm talking
down.
about.
Did you press the right?
Yes, I pressed the right button. It seems like Selo's not pressing any buttons at the moment. Just in case you guys have noticed, Selo has been, or I think he is using his hotspot. So rub that shiny fired wall and his internet's working. That's his hotspot. Wonga Denga, Matt's been asking some hard questions. You guys lost on the weekend to Spurs. What's the question you want to ask him, Matt?
Well, I was just there was a promise made about a Foden haircut if Spurs beat Arsenal, and then it went and happened.
Guys, those fine print, there was some serious fine print in that statement. Said the league would have never taken a chance on the upcoming match. Arsenal's horrific, no ways. And
I feel like it sounds like that clause that Aston Villa had for Grealish, trying to keep him there for another season, that 100 million clause. I think Wonga's got some sort of clause in there.
We know how that ended. He obviously left. So
yeah.
So are you there? Are you surviving?
Hey man, I'm trying, guys. You know, networking disappointed at any point in time, and boom, here I am. Hopefully, you guys can hear me clearly, and I'm not ting.
Oh,
That's getting better.
nice. Yeah, that was convincing. Right, guys.
Don't do a Donny van der Beek on us.
Yeah. Oh,
Were you there, but you're not there.
The Donny van der Beek thing, though. Did you guys know that he was seen as a cheap alternative to Jack Grealish for Man United? That's why they opted for him, because he also had Champions League experience.
And they don't use him.
Ever.
What the heck? That doesn't make sense. I can't understand it. I can't understand it. But anyways, yeah, I can't understand it.
That's the point.
It'd be different if they used
The
him.
coach didn't want the player. The club
I see.
The club decided on the player.
Yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just before we continue on, I just want to say we officially, there are 3 days to go until the Premier League starts, and we have created a fantasy league. So if you haven't joined it yet, the code is at the bottom. So feel free to join us. And obviously, let's see what you got. Let's see if you know more football than what Wonga does.
Doubt it.
Right, so time for the big news. It was obviously Messi going to PSG. The move finally happened and materialized, and it happened very fast. I want to hear everyone's thoughts. And also, this news came out while we were recording last week, and none of us took note of it. We all thought it was like hypotheticals up until we ended the show, and all the links were sent to us. So anyway, Matt, let's hear your take first.
I think, you know, it's for him, it matches what his ambitions currently are. I think he still wants to play Champions League football. I think he wants to be in a side that's going to be able to maximize his skills. He's getting back with some players he's played with, people like Neymar. I don't know if it's official if Mbappe is still going to be staying at PSG, because I know there's been a question mark about him. It would be fantastic if he does stay, to see those three together, Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. I think that is an incredible front three, which obviously, surely PSG are looking to the Champions League with that move. They must be thinking this. It's if they can't do it now, what do they have to do? You know, how many more animals do they have to slaughter in some sort of ritual sacrifice in order to win the Champions League? So I think it's going to be really interesting to see the Champions League version of PSG. Maybe slightly disappointing as fans of the Premier League. It would have been really awesome to see Messi there. And maybe in some ways you could argue he's maybe taken an easier option because PSG don't have as tough a league time as maybe some other clubs, but they moved fast. You know, PSG also, they like a bit of free business this window. You know, how many players have they got in on a free now?
Yeah,
Donnarumma went there on a free.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, so it's a pretty, and I saw that obviously means that it looks like Pogba's not going to be going to PSG because apparently they only like players who are free, and Man United want that to be more of a transaction, which I think is good news for United. So yeah,
I think if Selo's internet connection was smooth, we'd be seeing him smiling with that comment. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, look, I think
I think the most important thing guys, if you can hear me, guys. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
If you can hear me,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Cut
It's touch and go.
Ah,
It's touch
okay,
and go.
that's
But I'm not
good.
sure.
So I'm just gonna
We
say
know you're a good
what I
actor.
think.
We know you're a good
But
actor.
but
Yeah, keep going.
No, what I will say about this, what I will say about this move though is that I would have liked to see in a top 3 league. So so the
Yes.
La Liga or going to a Premier League side. That would have been tougher for my team, Man United. But it would have been great to see Messi in the Premier League. Doing it on a cold night. In I don't know, Wolverhampton. What is it now? Cold night where? Is it Nova Stoke? Where's the cold night now? Cold night in Newcastle. A cold night in Newcastle. So I would have liked to see Messi in a cold night in Newcastle. But it'll be exciting to see him with Neymar again, and yeah, if Mbappe does stay, it'll be exciting to see him as well. But yeah, the business that PSG has done has been phenomenal. But I think obviously the wages that they are paying are probably high, very high, because I didn't know that Neymar was already top 3 highest paid players in the world. So now you're adding
It's 25
Messi
million
as well.
pounds a year.
It's a lot of money
25
that
million
they're paying.
pounds on a 2-year deal. And then with a third option to extend where he'll get a sign-on fee of 25 million pounds. So in total, I mean, do the maths. It's 75 million just straight to Messi in his pocket. And that's after tax, by the way. Sorry, as you
Yeah.
were, Selo.
Yeah, no, you see exactly. So you can already see
insane.
the numbers are crazy. You know what I mean? The fact that he's getting those numbers after tax, yeah, it says all you need to know about the transaction in itself, and it's great money for him. And I think Man City did want him, but because he heard that Barca are gonna sign him on an extension, thought, okay, cool, let's now press on Grealish before this starts. And Pep is like, oh, damn it, could I have gotten my boy? So I think differently.
All right, we're struggling there with Selo. Wonga, you might as well just follow up onto what he's saying. I mean, like you
Yeah.
said, Guardiola, could he have gotten his boy?
Yeah, I think if Guardiola had known, definitely he would have definitely.
Also,
Was
why
it
is his
even a
profile
pain getting
picture
cut?
the director of Goalloungetv there? That's interesting. Look at that.
It does raise questions.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Wonga, as you were. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
before
no,
you
man.
say anything, shout out to Tapelo, who's joined
I don't
us here for
know.
the first time.
Hey,
Thanks for
I
the-
don't know. I'll tell you
What up, Tapelo?
You tell me. You tell
Yeah.
See, when he doesn't want to answer a tough question, he's just going to stagger it out like that.
All right, guys, the question I've got about this whole Messi situation is Pochettino. Also, what can happen if you do leave Spurs? You end up with an M&M sort of situation, Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. I mean, it just makes you think about pure Kane.
Did the boss leave now as well?
Which boss?
No. It's what he's saying. It's Poch leaves Spurs and really falls upwards there.
You leave as
Lands
well?
at PSG with this incredible squad. Yeah, it's a dream come true for Poch. He's always going to have a place in my heart, obviously, as a Spurs fan, and I'm really happy for him. I really do hope he can go all the way this year. I really hope they have a lot of success because Poch deserves it. He's such a hard-working coach. He really takes the time to get to know the team and the fans, the whole structure around the club. He's just a fantastic guy. I think for me, the bigger question mark it leaves is what does this mean for Barcelona? I mean, they seem to be unraveling.
Yeah.
I saw today Aguero's out for 10 weeks with an injury sustained in training. So they really are, and even apparently the
Is it a
signings they
genuine
have brought in-
injury? Is it a genuine injury? I think that's
I don't know.
what
Maybe
really
we got.
That's what I wanted to ask.
I think it is, but I don't know if it's just a training injury or if he saw what's going on around him and he just punched a wall one day. Just walked into the Barca training, which is just like, puts himself out of commission. But
it was that
yeah,
day. What was it? There was like a 24-hour period where his agents were doing the best they could to try and get him out of the deal, and I think maybe that's where the injury occurred. He smashed that ball during that time, and the agents went, "Look, nothing's happening. You got to stay."
Yeah. But I think Barca have got a serious problem on their hands. I mean,
Hey,
you're looking
welcome
at
back, Silo.
I'm back. I'm good, guys. Yes. I'm good. Technology does. They came back for me.
Did they bring you your internet? They brought you your internet.
Yeah, guys. Whoever was complaining in the community WhatsApp group, they made sure, man. They made sure.
Well,
That is probably clicking like 50 million times and saying, why doesn't
Refresh.
this thing work? You know what I mean? So, yeah, this wasn't for too long, man. Hey, it was a bit painful there that I couldn't hear you guys, and you guys probably could hear parts of me. You guys probably
and see parts of you.
you guys probably thought that I was going to PSG myself. You guys thought they were signing me as well. I am not.
No. We're never in fear of that.
I have not
A
signed a
pipeline
free.
dream.
I have not signed a free transfer to PSG as yet, guys. We are still sorting out my personal terms. I would like a sign-on bonus, and a couple other things.
Okay, let's start with the Wi-Fi. Let's fix the Wi-Fi, and then we can talk about other things. Yeah, but I do want to say this though. Like, if you are ever in doubt of not trying to do something, I mean, the fact that we are trying to attempt a live stream show in South Africa with poor connectivity issues, I mean, anything is possible. Right, Wonga, you were saying, I was saying that the Pochettino thing. The question I wanted to ask about Pochettino inheriting these players and the squad that he has. For me, the fear is the question is going to be asked whether or not he's a good enough coach. But in this sort of situation, we've seen at Barcelona and a lot of the time, when you get these sort of players, the coach tends to fall in the background, and it's more the players just going out there doing their job. So I've got big worries for Pochettino in terms of whether or not it plays out for him the way in which the club expects it to.
I don't think Pochettino is a good coach. Like Matt said, I don't personally think he'll have a problem.
Do you see Pochettino is a good coach?
No, but he
is. No, I said I agree with Matt. He is a good coach. No.
Oh, he is. Oh, he said,
yeah. No.
I was about to say, coming from the guy who's got Arteta. Ooh, that was a bit,
No, I know my situation very well, guys. Trust me. I think I do think he'll manage them. I think obviously Messi, best player, one of the best players in the world. We can argue it, whatever, but I think he's a professional person, same as Ronaldo. He'll probably be professional. They'll get in there, and I think Pochettino will be able to manage them. I mean, look, Pochettino did not win. If I'm not mistaken, they didn't win the league last season. They lost to Lille, and he still had a decent squad. I mean, Messi, looking at what he's done at Barca, I mean, the last time he scored less than 30 goals, he probably couldn't walk. But like, I think definitely he's going to probably put in another 30 for them at PSG, and he's just that good. He'll just do exactly what Poch wants. They'll have to play around him. I don't think they'll have much of a problem, really. It'll be a clean win for PSG.
But it'll be interesting to see how many fans PSG get now, guys, because already I think they're
it's going to
already
be massive.
They're already an attractive club. I for one have always liked their kits. Their kits have always looked good, and so on.
Yes.
And I think now even more people already talking about buying their away kit, the one that's got pink and white, whatever.
The pink one,
because the white with the pink, because it looks nice. Now people are just going to be buying it. It's just going to sell out. It's going to literally sell out.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. I don't know, if you guys saw the whole, people outside the airport yesterday waiting, and then today obviously they were waiting again, and obviously they finally saw their man, and it's just crazy in Paris, guys. I think it's going to be a sellout crowd, and they're going to be getting they're going to be international fans coming to watch PSG at the Parc des Princes. You know what I mean?
But I think that side of it is really interesting, because I saw a thing today that reckons Barcelona are going to lose as much as 160 million in income because of Messi leaving, because of the merchandise they sell related to him, which is huge. You got to think about that, what that means for PSG, and also Barca, who are already cash strapped. I don't know if they can afford to just drop 160 mil out their balance book. So I think that side of the game, I think we sometimes it kind of slips under the radar. We don't realize.
No, that's true.
But like what you're saying, Matt, in terms of the damage that Barcelona, like what in terms of looking at it from Barcelona's point of view, I think, I just when you hear how Messi leaves the club, you're just trying to think to yourself, I mean, okay, look, there's definitely people that have been paid to to know about these formalities in the league, when you should be signing contracts, especially when they should be able to sign players. And for me, I don't know. I felt it's very careless to not to lose a player so big on such a small technicality. Shouldn't someone have known, or is it something that just came up this year? Or
Philo knows the
man.
details to this. He knows how this all unfolded.
It is Josep Bartomeu's fault. The former president, it's his fault. The financial situation that Barca are in is because of the former president. Firstly, Griezmann gets 800,000 euros a week. 800,000 euros a week. Then De Jong gets 400,000 euros a week. You know what I mean? De Jong was probably getting 50,000 euros a week at Ajax, and then now you literally what is times 8, guys? What Matt, you know English better than me, man. What is it to multiply something by 8? You're not quadrupling his salary. What times 8?
Octupling? Yeah, something like that.
Octupling.
I was wondering why it's like, you know English. I was like, bro, where's he going with this maths question?
That's what I said.
I
said, did he finish?
So you're octupling his salary by giving 400,000 euros when he was getting 50,000 euros at Ajax. You know what I mean? And there's other players who are also getting ridiculous amounts of money. Milan Pjanic is getting 300,000 euros a week. So all of these players, right, is that Barca's salary cap is too high, Wonga. You know what I mean? So cool.
Yeah.
Even if Messi took a pay cut, right, they are still over their salary cap. Because what's happened right now is that La Liga has changed their rules for these salary caps. They've brought in these salary caps so that teams cannot obviously spend more than what they make, type of thing. You know what I mean? So you have to make it's a percentage of your revenue that you can spend as a salary. So obviously now they've brought in these rules.
And that's already skewed, by the way, because we know that Real Madrid and Barcelona receive more than the rest of the league. So the salary cap, again, it's to that concept we spoke earlier. It favors the bigger side as is, but it just shows you how they've abused the system.
And this new season, this season is the first season where it's equal broadcast rights. So La Liga's always been skewed, as Claudia said it. So now this new season is broadcast rights like the Premier League, equal across each team. So obviously each team will get the same amount and so on. But then also there's another part, is this whole CVC deal, this new private equity company that's coming in to take 10% of La Liga's share. So they're gonna put in money into La Liga, and then each club is gonna get a certain amount of money from this whole deal. But La Liga tried to force Barcelona's hand and said, you guys can register Messi if you sign the CVC deal. So Laporte said that I'm going to put the club ahead of Messi. I am not going to sign this deal, and that's going to mean that we can't sign Messi. And that's what he did. He didn't sign the deal, and that meant they couldn't sign Messi. So their condition was, you can sign Messi if you sign the CVC deal. So you will see even now today that Real Madrid are taking La Liga president to court and taking CVC to court as well. So Barca and Real Madrid are on the same side with regards to this whole deal, and saying that they don't want to be a part of this whole CVC deal because they feel that they weren't properly consulted and so on, and it's not beneficial for them in terms of how much they're going to get, because each team is going to get the same amount of money. Each team is going to get, I think, about 2.3 billion euros for this deal. So they don't feel it's just and fair in terms of this deal, and obviously they still want the Super League.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's madness, man. It's madness. So
yeah.
But hey, man,
the big question around the Super League. The one thing I want to talk about, obviously, Kuketso saying, they're not getting the fans, but they're definitely selling the jerseys in Paris.
But she's a Barca fan, so she's trying to speak for all Barca fans. I know there's definitely a lot of Barca fans that are going with him to PSG because there were Man United fans that left Man United. Okay, they didn't leave Man United. They just cut themselves in half, and then they left some of themselves in Manchester, and then the other part went to Madrid. So I think that's what's going to happen to some fans.
I think it's going to happen to a lot of fans. I think that's going to be most of these Barcelona. I mean, are they really going to stick around and watch Memphis Depay lead the line there at Barcelona? No, let's be honest. I think that's the question. But what I want to talk about is now they're selling these jerseys. Legal, I mean, they're gonna benefit greatly, especially from a broadcasting perspective. People want to see this unfold. But the question is, this is going to be a stroll in the park for Paris now, for PSG. Is it really going to be that interesting? I mean, if I'm Pochettino and my mandate is to win the Champions League, I would rest Messi for most of the games and then whip him out for the Champions League and be like, bro, we all know that's what you want. Let's just, we'll use the league as warm-up games. Am I wrong in saying this?
Well, I think there'll be pressure on them in the league because they didn't win last season. I think if they'd strolled last season, it'd be a different story. But they finished second. It was a big upset. And I think, so in that regard, I think Poch and PSG have a big task on their hands. I think there's that added pressure. They've now got Messi as well. If they don't walk the league and I would say win the Champions League, there'll be a lot of people saying this constitutes a failure. So I think that there is a lot of pressure there, more than there was pre-Messi signing. So I don't think he can afford to necessarily rest him a lot. I think he's gonna have to manage him because he's, you can't just play him every minute of every game. But I think that I don't think that certainly in and around Paris, there's not going to be a sense of, oh, don't worry about the league, we'll concentrate on the Champions League. I think they're going to expect, much like Barca did every season. Barca expected to win everything every season, and I think it's going to be the same at PSG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question I've got, Jeff, for Mbappe, though. Is this a good move for him? Because we know he's been being tempted rather by other clubs or the idea of playing somewhere else. This Messi thing, does it keep him there for a little while longer, or is it actually going to hit him in terms of progress? I think, look, next?
For me, if PSG can afford him, that's the first thing. If they can afford both, then we say, does Mbappe have the choice of staying? And if he decides to stay, I think that'll be a good decision for him. If you're looking at Messi, he's not just a goal scorer; he's also a person who assists. We saw, and I think the way Mbappe plays as well, if they can all be clicking, all the three of them, they'll get a lot of goals. Messi, Neymar, in the past have succeeded in a trio up front, and Messi's done it probably his whole life. And he's changed people around him, and he's still managed to keep those goals above 30 and assists as well, probably over 10 per season. So I think if Mbappe stays, he's definitely going to be scoring more goals. If he puts the ball on target, he'll get more opportunities. That's for sure. In the French league, yeah.
Yeah, but that's from an immediate football sense, right? For this season, he should be doing that because of the players he's playing with. But for me, from his career perspective, what I'm asking you guys, he's missed that penalty, that crucial penalty in the Euros, ultimately cost France. We know he's not the full article yet. He's now playing with arguably the GOAT, one of two GOATs, hypothetically. He's already got the other players in his squad. In terms of a young player and psychologically moving forward, is this a very big thing for him, or does he need that challenge in a different sort of space to be his own man? You know what I mean?
I think he does. I think he does. Not this season, not this coming season though. I think as a player, man, I think you always want to play with the best players in the world, right? But also you want to also go on your own path. And I feel that Mbappe stays at PSG another year. Real Madrid try and lure him and already say that, okay, cool, your dream has always been to play for Real Madrid. Come through next season for a free transfer. We give you a huge salary package at Madrid. And then you can be our main guy. You know what I mean? And I think he's already got a position on the left wing at Madrid that is kind of unchallenged. If you think about it, I don't think anyone has taken control of that left wing position that used to be occupied by CR7. So I think that Mbappe stays another year and then moves along. I think, guys, this team is. It's not that there's going to be egos, right? Because I don't think that Messi ruffles feathers and so on. But I think that Messi and Neymar, they already have a great bromance going on, and I think that is cool. They can stay like that, and then Mbappe can shift on after a season. You know what I mean? I think it's just ridiculous.
Could you imagine being Poch? They're not doing what he's asked them to do at halftime. You got Ramos there, you got Donnarumma there, you got Messi, Neymar, and they all just look at you and say, "No, what do you do?"
No, but they can't.
I think they're professionals. I think they've won what they've won because they listen. And I don't think. I think it's very rare that you get instances of open revolt from a squad towards a manager. I mean, look, Newcastle was still listening to Steve Bruce last season. I think it takes a lot for players actually.
But they were listening. If Nick was here, they would say, they were listening to the assistant. That's
maybe. But I think the point is there'll always be someone in the dressing room they're going to listen to. It's the structure of the thing. You listen to your manager, you do the job. It might be a different story if results start to really turn, but I think week in, week out, if things are ticking along, they'll listen to him. And I think also, don't forget, as much as Poch didn't win anything at Spurs, but he's a very respected player. He had a very good playing career. He played at the highest level in Spain. They'll know him by reputation. He is also Argentinian, so that Messi and him are going to get along in that regard. I think there's going to be a lot of mutual respect there. And he is, from all accounts, a very good manager, very good coach, and gets the best out of his players. Very good at building that bond. He definitely did that at Spurs. You saw the camaraderie that was developed amongst the squad under him, and how easy that can be undone under someone like Mourinho. And I think in that regard, they'll respond to him, and it gives him an opportunity to really kind of show what he can do if he's got sort of, if you put the cheat mode in on Football Manager, that's a squad you're going to build at PSG. So he gets to show what he could do.
Could you imagine downloading Football Manager for this season? You would just start at PSG and try to win the Champions League. That's what you would do. What's your budget? And imagine still having like an extra £100 million on top of the team that you have.
Yeah, like, a transfer budget, because all these players have come for free. So it's a huge win for him. I think it is a massive test of all involved, not just of Poch. I think of the entire squad. This is a big test of, can you live up to the hype? They've been brought in on this. There's a huge amount of expectation. Everybody's going to be talking about them going into the Champions League. No one's going to. There'll be other teams that are thereabouts, but people are going to be saying, PSG, surely this is the year they do it. And similarly to what happened to Juventus, with the first season they had Ronaldo, everybody was like, oh, this must be the year. This is the year they're going to turn it around. They've gotten so close before. Now they've got Ronaldo, they're going to get over. And that expectation isn't always a good thing. So I think that'll be an interesting dynamic in the Champions League. And it does, like we've said, it poses a lot of questions about what does this mean for Barcelona in the future? Has the Premier League missed a trick? It's been a while since you could argue that the best player in the world was playing in the Premier League. And I think that's potentially another, slight damage to the brand, the quote unquote best league in the world. So it's a lot of interesting permutations out of this Messi move.
Well, fair enough to Spurs. They were the one club that did try in the Premier League. Let's what we can hear.
No, guys, where's the facts about this? I heard you guys speak about it when I still had Wi-Fi issues, and I wanted to scream and say, what nonsense is this? Because
look, it's as factual as anything else on the internet. I read about it. Apparently, there were only 3 clubs that officially contacted Messi's representatives after it was announced. It was Atletico Madrid, PSG, and Spurs, which I think it must have been sort of it must have been endearing, the champions of La Liga.
You're leaving, just taking a cheeky bit there, going, He's like, that's the ego of the man. To be fair, he thinks his name's up there. He thinks he can get his people on the phone.
Can you imagine though, Messi's agent having a word with him? So we've had a couple of offers. So it's the champions. It's the champions of Spain. Atletico Madrid want to have a go, do the tough second album. They'd like you to be their front man. PSG, they want to be favourites in the Champions League. They want you. And then there's this club from London. Not that one. Not Chelsea.
Not Chelsea.
Spurs.
You would have gone, okay?
And what are they offering? He would
have been like, ¿Dónde está biblioteca? Where's the library?
It would have been fantastic. I think it. As much as it's funny that Spurs went for it, I'm surprised that no other Premier League club at least picks up a phone. United.
Apparently, Man United.
They said Man United put forward 50 million. I think 50 million euros. And I think. Yeah, Messi wanted 37 and a half a season, or 35 a season, whatever it is that he's going to get now. So
he was forcing that. He's like, if you want to play in Newcastle, you better be paying me at least £50 million more.
And the thing is that I think Man United want to mess up its structure, wage structure. There's a lot of things that Man United are trying to change about themselves as a club. And I think one of the things is to make sure that we are not doing Sanchez money ever again, where we're doing Sanchez is if you think about the second highest paid player, Sanchez earns double that the second highest paid player in the team. So that never made sense, because it resulted in an issue where Rashford and Martial said, "Hey man, we play better than this guy. We gotta get the money." So imagine now Messi comes in at that amount. Pogba would have asked you guys, where's my money? Give me the same, guys, or just offer me the same, or offer me 30% less than Messi. And that always happens in football.
For once, I think United would have had a leg to stand on. They would have been like, Pogba, sure, where are your Ballon d'Ors?
Yeah, man, but I feel that Adidas should have helped Man United to get this over the line.
I agree with you,
because Man United is the second biggest club that's sponsored by Adidas after Real Madrid. So it's an easy win for them. Or you can argue as Bayern Munich as well, but we've got more revenue, and just literally place him. Man United comes to Man United. Adidas signs a check, says, guys, we'll cover half the salary. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that.
Guys, I just want to talk about, we're going to move on here, the Grealish Man City move. I know we spoke about it last week, hence when the Messi sort of story broke. But what I want to ask you guys with regards to Grealish is this move a good one for his career? Or should it be, because he came out recently now saying Messi saw him in the press conference, him crying. He said, like, he cried at Aston Villa too when he left it. But he's also come out like wanting to go to Man City. So is this the right choice for him in the next steps as a 26-year-old Premier League footballer being regarded as the most expensive English transfer in history?
It's hard to judge this early on. I think we're going to have to give it a season or two. It's like the same with the Sterling move. When Sterling first went to City, there was a lot of question marks. Is this the right thing to do? You know, has he done it for the right reasons? Is this going to benefit his career? I think now we can look back on it and see, on balance, Sterling's done very well out of that move. Moving to City was exactly the right thing for him to do. And I think the test is going to be if Grealish can keep his performance levels up for over the course of 2 seasons. Does he still kind of become a linchpin, an important part of the team? Does he play every week? Is he still creating as many chances? And I think, so it's very hard to say. I think he's made the right move in the sense that the easy thing to do would be maybe to stay at Villa and not take those risks. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think, you know, he would have been a club legend. You look at the likes of Mark Noble, Steven Gerrard. It's okay to stay at one club and do the best you can. But I think there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity for.
I'm taking the list of names that you brought out.
Well, it's one
like
club man, you know.
Like you're putting Mark Noble and Steven Gerrard on the same level.
In terms of staying at the same club and becoming a club legend. No, and it's a similar thing because if you think about it, Gerrard could have left Liverpool earlier on in his career for Chelsea and maybe would have won more. And there is always that question mark. I think we can all agree Gerrard probably did the right thing. I think he had a fantastic career. He's an absolute legend at Anfield, all of that. And similarly, Grealish could have done the same at Villa and would have been no harm done. I think he's taken a step where he's decided, what if I could do that little bit more? What if I could achieve and become the central player at a club that's winning stuff every year? And I think that's there's nothing wrong with that. But we won't know if it was the right move for maybe a year or two.
Yeah, you've got some answers here. You got some answers you got to give out to this question. Was that a jab at Steven Gerrard? And if so, it's time for you to leave, Matt.
I mean, if you feel like Steven Gerrard staying at Liverpool is an insult to him, maybe you need to leave.
No,
you support
it
that
was
team.
the comparison to Mark Noble. That was the jab.
That killed me. That killed me. That killed me.
I stand by my words. I stand by my words. I didn't say. I wasn't comparing them as footballers or as dudes, you know.
Simply situational. The one thing I do want to mention about this Grealish move, in terms of if we're going to compare it to where Kane's at right now, Spurs and Levy, you know, firstly Levy being ambitious enough to try and get Messi, that also shows the kind of man that Kane is dealing with. But the difference with this Grealish move was there was a clause in his contract that said that he had signed previous season. It was a 100 million clause. Now, the situation that caused conflict between club and player was the fact that the club had the clause, it was a secret clause, which to the rest of Europe is illegal, but not in England, said it was expiring on the 7th of August. So they were trying to hold out until then. They had even made offers. They had called. So the bid was made on the Friday, which was the 6th. They didn't choose to accept it. Didn't choose to accept it despite having the agreement with the player. They then spoke to Man United, said, listen, is there a player swap deal? They also then tried speaking to Real Madrid. Is there a player swap deal? One of the main concerns for them giving this player to Man City was for the fact that they want this league to remain competitive, arguably. But it could also just be a greedy situation where they're trying to get better players.
What? I never knew all of this, man.
Yes, but the other kicker to all of this was the players that they signed pre-selling Grealish was your Buendia, the guy that was touted to go to Arsenal. Those players were sold the story or the project, so to speak, that Grealish would be there next season. And now the lad is gone. So I'm curious to see how this is going to affect.
They did Aguero on him.
Yeah, they charged.
They
did an Aguero. They did an Aguero on him. Yeah, they did an Aguero on him.
So those are some key factors out of this. So I'm curious to see. Will this affect Villa, guys?
Yeah, man, I think it will, man. Like, guys, that is Steven Gerrard type type level player that's leaving a club. You know, I mean, if Steven Gerrard had left Liverpool all those years ago, I think they would have had
Wait,
a couple of hiccups.
can you just correct that?
If
Steven
Steven Gerrard had left
Noble.
Liverpool or Mark Noble had left West Ham, it's impossible to know the past, Claudio.
That is true. He would have destabilized. Like
They could have
Mark
been.
Noble,
The pair of them could have gone to Chelsea, become a central midfield pairing that lived in history. We don't know.
No, I don't think
Mark
he was
Noble-
ever linked to Real Madrid or Chelsea. Mark Noble, even though he was in London.
Mark
Yeah.
Noble got West Ham back into the Premier League, guys. That is historic. No one's ever done that, guys. Gerrard
Fair
even
enough.
hasn't done that to Liverpool. But yeah, but I'm thinking that Grealish, guys.
So now you're saying Mark Noble is better than Gerrard. We're taking it one step further.
Read between the lines. That's what you're saying.
I was just putting stuff out there, but you've gone and compared them
No,
directly.
I don't even know
There's
what to
something-
say to this anymore.
No,
You guys are
man.
going off scripture. This is not okay. I mean, we are meant to be off script, but I don't like where this is headed.
No worries, man. No worries. Sorry. Gerrard will always be a legend, man. But yeah, I think like Villa, man, I can feel that. Listen, they had a great season last season, top 10 team last season. Definitely thought that they could push on into becoming a top 8 team. You know, they could compete with your likes of Leeds and Arsenal for that and Everton for that number 8 position in the log. You know, I mean, I think, and even they could even pull in the Spurs into that top 8 discussion. You know, so they were there, and they were thereabouts. But I think with this, they will struggle. But it will be also good to see how Bailey does in the Premier League. I think he's done very well at Bayer Leverkusen, and then obviously Danny Ings as well, is a proven goal scorer with Ollie Watkins up front, and Buendia has done well at Norwich and so on. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, man, it doesn't look good for Villa. And they look like they were on the up again, man. I think maybe they'll become maybe a number 11, number 10, but who knows? It's the Premier League, guys. No one said West Ham was going to come number 5, guys. So, and they did. Or 6.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, look, I think you can't lose a player like Grealish without feeling it in some way. They've got a solid squad. They've got some fantastic players, like Celo said. But at the same time, I think there's going to be a big kind of question mark over how they adapt, especially if all of this is true around promises made to players and stuff. I think that's, you know, there will be a little bit of some noses bent out of shape about that. But again, they are all professionals. Like, no one promises you who's going to be there. So
there we go, Matt. Jason justifying what you said there. Mark Noble is now the longest serving one club player in Europe after Messi left.
And those are the facts I was dealing in, is what I'm saying. You're very sensitive about Gerrard, which is okay. But
one club players, they don't make them anymore.
No, exactly.
Who?
Exactly.
Who are you talking about now? West Ham.
One club players.
Yeah.
They don't
make them anymore.
Trent would love it. Trent is on the way there. He would love it. Let's be honest. If he could,
yeah,
he would.
Rashford as well is on the way there.
Oh, no, Rashford's on the way out.
It's easy to be a one club player at a club that wins stuff regularly, though. Let's also, like, Giggs doesn't really count in that discussion if you think about it, because they were like, would they have stayed there if they weren't winning stuff? So you got to look at players who chose to stay instead of moving for silverware.
Who didn't win the Premier League but stayed regardless. I understand why there is a discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Let's move on. We're going to move on. Gents, before we talk about the rest of the Premier League updates, we know the Premier League is starting again. If you haven't joined our fantasy league, don't check it out. Let's see if you know more than Wonga. I know Kuketz already agrees with you, Wonga. Let's see if anyone else knows more than him. But Wonga, Denga, Lukaku, Chelsea.
Hey, are we getting a prize? I heard there's a rumor about a prize for the win of the fantasy, guys.
Yes, yeah, there is.
I heard there's a prize. But
they get to dye Wonga's hair.
They get to dye Wonga's hair when Arsenal lose to Spurs. That's also a running bet for the season, by the way. If and when Arsenal lose to Spurs, Wonga has agreed to the fact that his hair will be bleached like Phil Foden's in the Euros.
Okay, that's great. That's dope. Yep. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
But wait, does it still count? We're talking about the clauses. Does it still count if Kane remains at Spurs?
Look, I'll make it fun for you guys. Yeah, I was going to say if Kane was not there, but I'll make it fun for you guys. And I'll say, even if Kane is there or not, goodness me.
Get in, Wonga! Yes.
I don't know. Like, I just wonder if Wonga's going through something because of all of us to bet against who would lose against Spurs. I feel like Arsenal are the one that are least likely to be able to help you out in this one.
Maybe they win this time. I don't know. But look,
I think
mean,
you
look,
just
bringing
want
it back-
a haircut and you need a reason. You need a valid reason to do it. In which case, I'm happy to help you, Wonga. We're going to do this.
Madness.
Talking
I
about that
doubt
price for
it.
fantasy league, we're gonna have to discuss the T's and C's, Silo, after this discussion. Yeah, right, guys. Chelsea
worries.
Lukaku. This thing, Musa.
Yes.
Like I said, he was.
Hey,
I told him
that this
it's
was a
gonna
draw.
happen.
Hey.
I
He
said
still thinks
Hey, we
it's
told
a
him.
move.
I could see it happening, guys. I could see this happening, guys. But I
Yes.
think Musa as well needs to put some respect on Lukaku's name, guys. I think
A lot. Not some.
as a player in Italy for 2 seasons, he's become a better player. Firstly, I think his creativeness has come through a bit more, and I think he's led the line for Inter. You know, to Inter being in the top 4, to Inter then now winning the Serie A. It's a lot, guys. You know, Juventus was dominating Serie A for so long, and then now Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez. That combination was great up front. Lukaku I think he was the best player in Serie A. Over Ronaldo and other players. You know, he scored crucial goals, guys, and also for Belgium, he's been on fire for Belgium, scoring probably a goal a game. So I think, yeah, this price tag is probably justifiable. I think these are the prices that we are going for. If you're paying what you're paying for players like Timo Werner who can't score a goal,
Definitely makes a Man United fan sleep better at night, though. No.
yeah, we're gonna get 4 to 5 million from the deal as well. So we get 5% sell-on clause from whatever Inter sell Lukaku at. So whatever the price is, we're gonna get. If it's 100 million euros, we'll get 5 million euros. So whatever it is, we get 5%.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like looking at the whole thing, it's like Silo said, you could see it happening. It wasn't. It definitely was not out of the. Yeah, it's not a surprise. And the way that Tino Werner was, performing, I won't lie to you, I was very surprised that Musa wouldn't want a player like that in the team. And I just want to see. I wish Musa was here. I want to see him when Lukaku starts banging in those goals from sprints, from hold-up play, from headers. We'll see what the response is then.
Unless what happens is Lukaku doesn't score, and then we know it's not about the players. It's something going on at Chelsea that breaks strikers. And then that warrants its own investigation. What's in the water? What are they doing? Like, are they? Does the boot guy give them the shoes on the wrong foot? What's happening at Chelsea?
As the one who normally approves or signs off on all the conspiracy theories, that is on top of my list. There, I think that's a decent.
We need to keep eyes on the striker situation at Chelsea because they broke Torres, they've broken Werner. Remember, even Hernan Crespo went there a while ago, and he also just couldn't score goals anymore. Yeah. So there's something.
Matej Kezman could also struggled. Andrei Shevchenko also struggled.
And they've papered over the cracks because Drogba can power through anything. You put him out there, shoes on the wrong foot, blinkers on his eyes,
even
tape his one leg behind his back. He's still scoring goals. Nothing stops him.
Yeah,
while his hairlines are receding.
But this is a good question from Koketsu in terms of what does it mean for Werner and Havertz.
Well, we know the first question. The answer for the first question. Yeah, Timo Werner is out. He's finished.
Yeah,
Chelsea. That is the man is he's eating that bench. Splinters in the arse. That's what's happening for.
But what Wonga said is quite true. Don't you think he should play out on the left?
They'll have to.
They would try.
They'll have to because they've spent the money, and I think he might. It will definitely take the pressure off him. So if they do go with him and play him, it's going to be a good thing for him because Lukaku is expected to score the goals. He'll get into those good positions, and maybe we might see a better Werner as opposed to the pressure being him being the main man leading the line. So that's a possible thing.
Yeah.
They will have to do it. They will have to try and fit him into the team because they can't exactly just throw around £50 million for a guy and then flog him. Although there have been discussions in the transfer news with him going somewhere else. The question about Havertz, though, I don't think this is going to affect him much. I think that this is a quality player, in my opinion.
Yeah, Havertz is quality.
It's better for him. Now he actually gets assists instead of just passing and balls just going wide.
That's true.
Yeah. Someone who can hold the ball, make runs in behind as well for him.
I think Havertz's best position is on the right hand side, I think.
Excuse me, Percy.
Or-
Thank you very much. I'm glad you were enjoying this.
Hey, Percy.
Sorry, Wong. As you were, Settle.
Claudio,
We appreciate that comment.
Guys, you can see Claudio's not used to compliments.
He's just suffered through 20 minutes.
Liverpool fan.
Yeah, he's just suffered
man.
through 20 minutes of comparing Gerrard to Noble. He'll take it where he can get it, you know.
Crazy. No, thanks a lot, Percy. Thanks a lot, Percy. It's always good to see familiar faces in the comments there. But I think definitely Kai Havertz, he's shown that he's a very versatile player. He can play as a 10, he can play as a 9, as a false 9. So I think he's got a bit more going for him as opposed to Timo Werner, where Timo Werner didn't play well in the team. Kai Havertz played very well after he had COVID. So he got COVID, and then he took a bit of time to get back into the team. And then once he got back into the team, playing as a false 9, he did very well, scored the Champions League final goal as well. So I think he's sorted. But I think that Chelsea do need to sell players, guys. Bring in Lukaku. They need to sell Tammy Abraham.
Well, apparently they've sold him. Yeah. They've sold Abraham to Roma.
To Roma, yes, for 30 million.
Is he sold? I just read that that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
you're making a noise because you also want him apparently. So is that why? Is that why you're making a noise? Is he sold?
I heard.
But I call Arteta and tell him it's sold.
I heard. I was just saying.
Arteta is reliant on Wonga, and Wonga is reliant on his hair not being bleached. So there's a symbiotic relationship that is in play here.
Nah, I feel like Arsenal I just feel like Arsenal, every time something big is happening, a player's about to get sold, they're like, hey, go send him a message so that they said that we tried to go for him, you know? Because it always ends up not us getting him. Then we thinking, no, these guys are trying, they're working, but they're always late. Nah, bro.
I think the PR person works overtime there at Arsenal. Sorry. Yeah, Matthew. Yeah.
I was going to say, for me, the interesting question about the Lukaku move, I think it's a fantastic bit of business for Chelsea. I'll just stop by that. Like, I think he's going to really, he's proven quality. He knows how to score goals, and it's exactly what Chelsea need. What it will mean is that Chelsea might have to change their system a little bit. He's a very different player to what they've currently got.
Yeah.
In the way that he plays, his hold up play, he's far more direct than any of their current strikers in the way he approaches things. So I think they're going to have to slightly change. I do think Havertz will benefit out of that because of the way he plays the game and the way he draws defenders out. It will create space for runs behind, which even Werner could potentially benefit from if he's in the side as a winger. But it will mean they'll have to change the way they play from what they do now. And then for me, that asks questions of Chelsea's midfield. They might have to change the way they currently rely on Mount and Jorginho to kind of be the driving force of creativity. That might be a different equation in the coming season. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt the entire system for that in order to cater for having Lukaku in. So it's in many ways very exciting for Chelsea. And I think it's good for the league. I think it's good for the league to have a few really competitive sides there. And I think Chelsea and United are definitely not lying down and they're not just rolling over and letting City walk away with it.
I think Celo's doing some research there. I do want to throw this out there, though. One player from Chelsea, if he is on the move, and one player that I think would have a huge impact at Arsenal and Spurs, and even Liverpool and United, technically, if given the opportunity, is Odoi, Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think his future is in doubt with all these moves. And the question is, right now, Wonga, why aren't you phoning Arteta to make this happen?
No, they can't afford him.
Nah, I mean,
Which
just looking at. Look, that's the thing. You know, you look at Arsenal. I don't want to go into much into it, but you're looking at Arsenal. You're just wondering what the heck are they doing with the money? I mean, you're getting 50 million, and then you can hear that they're putting. I can't remember who it was, but you hear they're all willing to spend another 40 to 60 million, and you're like, what the heck? And the players they're going for, I don't know what they're trying to do. But anyways, in terms of Hudson-Odoi, I think again, someone like him, same reason as Hudson is still young, but no, I mean he's not. I mean he's been there for a while, you know. But I think he needs to get game time.
He needs to be the main guy. He needs to either go out on a loan or be sold.
Yeah, he needs to do a Jesse Lingard. He needs to drop down a bit, even on loan. Go play somewhere. Yeah, go play somewhere a bit low. Go somewhere like a Palace or a Newcastle. Get a load of game time. Get some
Spurs, even a Spurs, guys.
I don't know, because he might not play every week at Spurs, and then it's like, well, what's the point?
If he's not going to, he should play every week at Spurs, in my opinion. A player like that, he should be.
I think
I mean,
he's better
Spurs
than
right now,
Lukaku.
it's difficult for, like, right now, we know if we're looking at, let's assess Liverpool hypothetically from a distance, they're not spending any money unless they're receiving money. We're looking at
Even Liverpool.
Arsenal.
Even Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what I said. You'd be a good addition to the squad. But what I'm looking at, like even Arsenal now, Arsenal's problem as a club is they can't get any players, all the players that they want. And Spurs right now, I've got a fear. Like I know we were joking about the Messi phone call. Daniel Levy tapping up Messi. But realistically, when they're looking for the players that they want, I mean, the good thing about these two clubs is that they are based in London. And that's always going to be the selling point for them. They don't need a Grealish. They've got London. But I think that's been the worrying pattern so far this window. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Well, I think Spurs, I mean, if we end up holding on to Kane, which is still a big if, I think, that City might be inspired by Messi going to PSG to pony up and pay the cash for Kane so that they can be competitive in the Champions League. But, I mean, all the focus at Spurs has been on the Kane deal, but they've actually also done some quite smart business. They brought in Romero from Italy, and he's a solid defender. He was their voted best defender in Italy last season. Brian Gill, who I really hadn't really heard of before we signed him, and I did a bit of research. He had a really solid season at Sevilla. He was part of the deal that saw Lamela go the other way. He's quite a very good left winger, left-footed, very naturally skilled, very similar to like an earlier version of Bale. Not to say that they're necessarily the same player, but it is a bit of a gap.
Don't get too excited. Slow down. Slow down.
I've got to give Wonga something to cheer about. And obviously they've been linked to a couple of other players. Spurs were linked along with a couple of other sides in England to that Sabitzer guy at Leipzig. There was that bid for Lautaro Martinez at Inter, which I don't think he wants to go to Spurs, but I think they've been kind of busy. Obviously all the focus has been on Kane, but I'm today I was thinking about it, and I was kind of like sort of for a moment sort of quietly optimistic. Like if we did hold on to Kane, we're actually coming out of this window with a slightly stronger squad than we left. I'm still slightly worried about our defense, although I think that if Romero comes in and kind of takes control there, I think Sanchez and Dyer around him will learn and grow, and they'll benefit from having that leader there. So I think, I certainly feel better with Spurs squad than I would if we had Arsenal's one, for example.
I want to ask you another question.
I can really see the heat up in North London to see who finishes higher this season.
If Harry Kane leaves, there's no question. But if he's there, I can't say much. Okay. But if he leaves, yeah.
I want to ask about the leaving thing, because Cole was saying if Man City don't get Harry Kane, if they don't, she thinks that Chelsea will win the league with Lukaku.
Yeah, it's a possibility. But
I don't know.
Possibility, but percentage-wise, in terms of possibility.
No, guys, I think percentage-wise, you still have to back the.
Oh yeah, there's Man United. Yeah.
So you back the defending champion first. What's funny about that, guys? Wonga forgot.
Because Wonga forgot about United. He didn't even consider. We're forgetting Sancho went to United as well. That's going to be a top corner there with the free kick.
I would rather have focus not on my club.
No, Celo, don't do that to yourself. Remember just before the Euros when we were talking about the dark horse of Turkey. Don't be the dark horse, bro, because they went out in the first round. They didn't win a game. Let's not pretend.
Where are those guys? Where's Aljun and all of them? Like in terms of selling us that false dream, we were Turkey, the dark horses.
No, but
they pulled off their con and they left.
Aman sold Denmark for us, so at least. But what I do feel is that even though Man City doesn't get, even if they don't get a Harry Kane, I still feel that they are the favorites because they are the defending champions. So I put the defending champions as the favorites because they've added Grealish, a top 10 player in the Premier League. Okay, cool. I think probably going to have to let go of Bernardo Silva because it's been mentioned that he wants to leave. Atletico Madrid might sign him. But yeah, so I really think that that Man City looks like the club to beat. Chelsea with Lukaku, yes, I can agree that they can definitely be in the conversation. And I'm not sure what's happening in Merseyside because AFCON is happening and that is still on the horizon. So losing your two best players to AFCON in the middle of the season is not going to be easy. So I think
let me tell you guys something. Two friendlies in 2 days. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Wonga. I'll
Yeah, so
finish off what you say.
yeah, I'll
Yes,
just a
played
quick
2
comment.
friendlies in 2 days.
Silo saying that they're going to lose their top the best strikers. Last season it was the defenders and they saw fire. Now it's going to be the front three, and we'll see how they manage that with people who can't put a ball in the net.
You need to sign some players. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that
I
Liverpool
agree.
won't be doing well. I'm just saying that when those
I'm
guys are
saying
gone,
that.
who is going to be there? Because I don't know who's going to be there.
So, in terms of actual transfer activity, factually speaking, when we're dealing with Matt's facts, yes, I agree with you guys. When we're dealing with my facts, conspiracy facts, what Liverpool do have is the 12th
Don't call your
man.
things facts if we're calling my things facts. My things are facts. Your things are things. There's something else.
My things, there's still testament to the things that I say because they do come to fruition. Yours, like you're following the book, but sometimes, where the book can only take you so far.
You're just
gotta have
reading
an
tea leaves,
imagination.
man.
So what are you saying? So what are you saying?
So what do the tea leaves say,
So
Claudio?
what
Tell
I'm
us what the
saying,
tea says.
what I'm saying is, thank you very much. There, this is what I'll be saying. We've got Darren who is saying the things. Just give me a second. I'm losing focus here with one hand. There we go. Here we go. Jota is on fire this preseason, but the 12th man for Liverpool. However long that lasts, we've just played a friendly, and we can see the differences already made to the squad like Liverpool playing at Anfield with fans. So yes, we do need the players, and yes, realistically, challenging for the title, it's going to be a tough one. But I think it's going to be a big factor that we will have fans in the stands. That's number one. Number two, we've got Jota. He's doing the business, and we can see, judging what I've seen in the friendlies, he's going to be starting up there. And then Mino also scored the next day. So we've got some players. We don't obviously have the same sort of caliber. Yeah.
But Claudio, all the teams have fans back, right? It's not something they've just given to Liverpool. Like you guys get a 12th man and everybody else must still play in an empty stadium.
Liverpool's 12th man is different, and you know that. Don't even compare Spurs' 12th man to Liverpool's 12th man. Come on, guys. Are you being serious here?
So what happened? So what happened between 1991 and 2019?
Yes, because you had fans in the stadium.
You had
No, but that 18 years. Tell me that 18 year. Is it 18 years?
What was your 12th man doing then?
28 years. It's 28 years. That 28 year span. What was the 12th man? For 28 years, you're telling me the 12th man couldn't be heard for 28 years.
Hey, there were things behind the scenes that weren't working as well then, and that's the fact.
Then behind the scenes,
the 12th man is geared up. They're geared up.
So now,
I think the people know they're giving the 12th man energizers.
I just want to check how the facts work for you, Claudio.
So the facts are the 12th man.
So the facts are that then the 12th man wasn't good enough to fix bad players. Now you're going to lose your best players, but the 12th man will be good enough to fix that.
We're going to lose our best players, but we're going to speak to the countries to make sure they get knocked out of AFCON. You know these things. That's how they work.
But just to answer Koketo's question, there's been AFCON. Okay, let me just say, CAF is a Mickey Mouse organization first and foremost, because they used to always be a January February tournament, right? And then what happened was they changed presidency and they moved to June. So they've been a June tournament for about maybe the last 3 editions. I think 3 or 4 editions. Yeah, last 3 editions. I think they've been a June tournament in the off season. And then now they've gone back to being a June February tournament. I don't know why they decided to go back to June February, because they've always had this issue of club versus country. That is why, like, a player like Joel Matip retired from international football when he was still a child.
Yes. One of the reasons, yeah.
One of the reasons because then he had to leave Schalke, and then Cameroon wanted him to play, and he's just said, no, I'm just going to retire. And also the administrative side of Cameroon was not good for him and so on.
Yeah.
But they've always had that club versus country issue. So you're going to have that issue again happening in January, February, and it's just a nightmare, man. It's just a nightmare, because I think they should have just taken what they've done in South America. South American football leagues are a calendar year leagues. So the Copa Libertadores and their professional leagues are February to November leagues, but their continental competition is done in the off season. So CAF, where like Egypt does a February to November league, they can still have CAF in the middle of the season. Egyptian league and other North African leagues can just take a break during June for a month and then continue. But hey, guys, maybe these things are too simplistic in nature, where most of your best players are playing in Europe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, but I agree with you. So I think they should yeah, you need to consider it, because for a player, you need to consider everyone in the situation. And I think like you said, last time they made it in June, and then it works for everyone that's playing overseas. The reality is, mostly, if you want good players, where the good players are going to play, unless you improve our leagues, the good players are going to play in Europe.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, that's like the way they did it before was going well, and now you go change it back to create another mess. Because now these guys like Mane, as good as Mane and Salah are, if someone comes in and performs better than them, a coach is going to be winning. I know Salah and
He's
Mane are
gonna
probably
keep
like
the players
on
in
top
form,
of the
yeah.
game, but
Yeah.
it's gonna chow the guy. Or if he gets injured and the other guy starts performing, it kills the guy's spot in the team. I think you just need
Yeah.
we need to consider these things. But yeah, I don't know why you'd make such a decision.
And I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
think
we'll see.
just going back to Kuketo's comment, this is exactly why Celo and Matt are saying, it's going to be trouble for Liverpool here. Losing a player like Wijnaldum and not replacing him, that is trouble in paradise. But we do have young players.
So-
Harvey
Wait,
Elliott stepping
I
up.
thought you said, don't you have all those guys sitting in the stands cheering it on? It won't matter if there's a gap
Harvey
in the
Elliott's been
midfield.
recalled from
They
he's been
can-
recalled from loan,
they
so
can
he's not going to be
Use their
sitting in the stands as
collective
much.
mind power to move the ball around the field like a hive mind.
And on that note, it's time to wrap up the show. So we're going to end off with the final thoughts from Wonga, Matt, and Celo, and then we'll see you guys on Thursday. But let's hear these final thoughts, guys. They better be golden, like what you're saying there, Matt. They better be that collective goldness. Let's hear it.
Nothing golden for me. I'm just really, really worried at my team and where they're probably going to end up this season. I think we'll have there'll be a final thought for me. I think Arteta is going to, as much as I like the person, not fired, but I think he's going to have questions. Arsenal fans are going to want a lot from him. He's definitely not going to be finishing. He's going to struggle to get above 8, I think, especially with what the other teams are doing. So they're going to ask. It's going to be a really tough season for him, I think, especially if you're in all those other cups as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
UEFA Conference League, League Cup, FA Cup, fighting for Premier League.
Minus one man in the stand, not 12th man.
10 men in the stand.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, look, for me, I think it's going to be a really competitive league. I'm really struggling I keep sitting down and thinking, who's going to come top 4, who's going to win, and it's really hard to decide who's looking good, and because there's so many sides have strengthened. It's often we get to this stage of the season and it's clear there's one or two sides who have slipped backwards. Now, maybe other than Liverpool, everybody's really strengthened. They're even, like, as much as I'm worried about Spurs losing Kane, Spurs have also made some smart signings. Arsenal, you could argue, have made some smart business in getting in Ben White, because it was clear they were struggling with it for a leader at the back, and maybe he's gonna, be that strong voice. I mean, it remains to be seen if he could do it. I think they're still missing someone to partner with Partey. But all the sides have kind of done some good. But even Villa, for losing Grealish, they've also brought in some really smart signings. So I think there's some really interesting kind of stories that are going to play out, and I can't wait for it to be back. And it's going to be so loud. Can you imagine fans back in the stands? It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, man, I think it's just going to be a great season. I'm excited for it. I'm not leaving my house this weekend unless you guys are hosting a party for the viewing of the games. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to be staying home. Excited for the Premier League season. Yeah, man, it's what I live for. It's what brings us together. But Man United just need one more signing.
When does it bring us together, Celo? When?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7:30.
Ah, good man. Yeah, let's go. He just knows how to do it. He just, slips it in there. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but excited, and yeah, as I said, Man United need one more signing, and then I'll feel that we'll win the league.
From my end, I'm just super excited that Thursday show is going to be the first pre-match mooty. The proper first pre-match mooty since the off-season's kicked off, where we're actually going to be covering the weekend's fixtures. So don't forget to join us then. We look forward to having you. And remember, if you don't know what to be
cool.
Be cool.